Philippine city volunteers provide hot food for residents affected by Typhoon Molave. New Taipei City government has launched new transportation, the electric bicycle. Welcome to Dai Headlines. I'm Siri Su. Thank you for joining us. Typhoon Molave devastated parts of the Philippines. In Orma-Guila village, houses were flooded and residents were evacuated to a safe place. City volunteers also headed over to provide hot porridge for the affected residents.
As Typhoon Molave made landfall in the Philippines, Orma-Guila village was hit with strong winds and rains, with 300 families being evacuated.
The
villagers' houses were near the river. Around 7 o'clock in the evening, the water levels have risen sharply, so we immediately evacuated the residents in the low-lying areas because their houses were already flooded.
The tents in the school have become temporary shelters. At 4 o'clock in the morning, Tzu Chi volunteers prepared hot meals to comfort the residents.
It was my first time being evacuees, and it was really hard for me. But I witnessed how dedicated our Tzu Chi volunteers are. Even if it is in the middle of the night, they are still willing to help those evacuees.
Even the local Tzu Chi stepped up and helped prepare big pots of porridge.
This time, we step up to help our own people. We are all affected by Typhoon Molave. I feel very joyful while helping others because I'm able to see the smiles on their faces during the process.
Thank you, Tzu Chi, for providing us with the porridge. It really warmed our stomachs.
The villagers have passed a peaceful night thanks to Tzu Chi. They all head back to clean up their houses after the night. As the saying goes, after the storm comes the rainbow.
So the Philippine chapter continues to help families affected by the pandemic. Recently, rice from Taiwan have arrived on Bohol Island. Local volunteers have carried out distribution to help nearly 800 families in need.
There are few Tzu Chi volunteers on Bohol Island. In order to carry out distribution during the pandemic, scholarship recipients accompany social workers to conduct surveys in the countryside. With a roster of 8 recipients, volunteers start to pack aid supplies. In the boxes are 7 daily supplies and a bag of rice from Taiwan. Volunteers deliver the supplies to 8 recipients' houses.
I'm very grateful to Tzu Chi Foundation for giving us these daily supplies. I pray that Tzu Chi will be with God and help more people in need like me.
34-year-old Aiza is a single mother who raises 3 children. She has not had income recently. Having received the supplies from the volunteers, she could not hold back her tears.
Thank you for the rice and daily supplies. These supplies can sustain my 3 children and I for quite some time. Thank you very much.
In some places, volunteers hold distribution, while in other areas, they deliver supplies. The local government have also dispatched staff members to help out.
During the pandemic, I'm very grateful to Tzu Chi for providing so many daily supplies for residents without income. I thank Tzu Chi on their behalf.
Due to the pandemic, my parents lost their jobs. The supplies are very helpful to us. Thank you, Dharma Master Zheng Yan. Thank you, Tzu Chi.
The first distribution on Bohol Island has helped 787 impoverished families. They no longer have to go hungry because of the pandemic.
The An district in Taipei City is a high-end residential area, but in the alleys there are also forgotten corners. There's a house owner who suffers from physical and mental disabilities and is reluctant to throw away items. Over time, the house is full of debris and the neighbors can't bear the smells from the house. So the borough chief sought help from city volunteers who clean up the house.
City volunteers entered the house with full of rubbish. They needed to climb up to the top of the rubbish hill to start cleaning up.
When I entered the house and saw the situation, I was so shocked and about to faint because the whole room was full of rubbish. There was no place to walk.
Before arriving at the house, although the volunteers were mentally prepared, they were still a little shocked at seeing the actual scene. They were divided into two groups. One group sorted the garbage inside the house, while another group transferred the garbage down the stairs.
Here are the bags we prepared. We are also sorting at the same time. We put recyclables in the canvas bags, whilst the trash is put into the yellow plastic bags to be thrown away.
Cockroaches were almost everywhere in the whole house. Countless cockroaches. After cleaning by our Tzu Chi brothers and sisters, the house is now very clean.
The trash, which was initially filled about half the house, was finally cleared after 4 hours of tidying up by volunteers.
Because he has affected his neighbors, so we have to do this. We thank you so much because we, as the public sector, can't enter the private homes to do this necessary work. So I'm very grateful to Tzu Chi for helping us tidy up his living environment.
Because this living environment really caused a lot of troubles for his neighbors, and we can motivate many volunteers to come to help. Everyone is happy.
After the volunteers complete the task, the friends of the house owner and borough chief thank everyone in particular, and the tension between neighbors can also be slightly relieved.
In our next report, we'll meet a Newshow Scholarship recipient who has been taking care of his paralyzed father. Feng Wenchen, who lived in Miaoli, had to take care of his father who became bedridden due to a work-related injury. After graduating from elementary school, Feng joined Taipei Junior High School basketball team in Tainan.
这只脚可以弯吗？不能弯。这个是直的，这个是弯的。
The children have gotten permission from their teachers. They come back at 9, 12, and 3 o'clock to take a look at me, to see if I need to drink water.
Since their mother is not by their side, Wenchen, his elder brother, and younger brother have to support their father. However, being children, they also feel tired sometimes.
When I took care of my father during elementary school, I felt frustrated. He kept asking for my help. After I sat down for a while, my father would ask for my help.
Back then, volunteers brought him to learn at Tzu Chi Typhoon Molave school and encouraged him.
It was fun and I got to meet many people. Sometimes, I really miss the time at the Tzu Chi school.
Wenchen likes to play basketball, and he has joined Germanyland basketball training camp. He is talented and hardworking.
Wenchen performed really well at the tournament. He scored more than 20 points. A junior high school coach saw his talent. He told me that he hopes Wenchen will go study at his school. I feel very happy about it.
Children can seize this opportunity to grow. He's very repressed emotionally in the mountains. After going to Taipei Junior High School, he showed his optimistic character.
After pursuing an education in another city, he has learned to cherish his time with his father.
My thinking has changed. When I see that my father needs help, I will quickly assist him. I have come to sympathize with my father, who suffers from mobility issues.
Since he has suffered, he cherishes his blessings.
When Wenchen was in elementary school, he often did not have breakfast. He shares his personal experiences with other children, telling them to cherish food.
Volunteers describe him as a child who is like wind. While it refers to his fast speed on the basketball court, it also means he is like spring wind, warming the hearts of people.
There's a new transportation method called the electric bicycle launched by new Taipei City government. The government claims that a bicycle is a new way of vehicle sharing. Vendors require users to attach their phone numbers when they rent a bicycle.
The MRT travels fast. The motorcycle rushes. And crowds of people cross the road, but transportation is not always a lengthy travel. Microtransit is a trend ongoing right now.
From Danshui New Town to the Danshui MRT station, by the electric bike, it only takes 10 minutes. Or sometimes we only go to Carrefour in Danshui. It's more efficient to rent an electric bike than walking.
I'm now riding a new Taipei City's electric bicycle. We can see that the original back seat is now a battery. Under full charge, the electric assistance may accompany the rider for 60 kilometers, which equals the round trip from Xindian to Danshui.
The Transportation Department of New Taipei City Government launched the electricity-assisted bicycle sharing project. It only takes a step for the acceleration to start. Like walking effortless, the bicycle is focusing on travels less than 10 kilometers. In 4 districts, 55 parking spaces are set up for the bike.
This pilot project will be active until February next year, and firstly, we launched the electric bicycle in Damsui. Then we expanded routes to other places in New Taipei City from Xindian to Banqiao and from Sanzhong to Banqiao.
Like in Danshui, when we travel from the MRT station to here, the slope is quite steep, but with the electric bicycle's 3-speed gear, we don't have to put in effort at all.
Unlike the electric bicycle, the electricity-assisted bicycle only has power when pedaling. Once the speed reaches over 25 kilometers per hour, the electricity is cut off in order to ensure safety. As for now, most of the electricity-assisted bikes are in New Taipei City. Vendors of the bike claim that they are using a shared bike concept, along with the intelligent electronic fences system. But the issue of riding and dropping the bicycle remains. Do you remember the shared bicycle problems years ago? The sharing system tests the ethical side of users. Will the same system be abused now?
The government does the monitoring and managing, and us, the vendors, do the operating. After accepting this business model, the bicycle can be parked correctly in a better way.
The vendor claims that they are using a shared bike model 2.0 and collaborating with a public department. The rent system is also improved, as the user has to register online first, and then upon renting, one must attach a phone number to the vehicle. This is to prevent the chaotic situation that happened years ago.
When we want to use this electricity-assisted bicycle, we have to first download the app to our phone and then turn on the GPS. Now we can see the parking spaces on our screen and find our starting point. Then we scan the QR code and we're ready to go.
As for returning the bicycle, unlike traditional methods, the yellow box drawn on the ground is the intelligent electronic fences system. Although the racks are not visible, parking must be taken seriously.
This yellow box on the ground is called the Intelligent Electronic Fences System. Let's open the phone and turn on N-Trip. When we hear this lock sound, it means the returning process is completed.
Like, for example, if we want to park here and tap on the return bike option, the system will show me that we cannot park here since it is outside the intelligent electronic fences system.
If the user is determined on parking outside the designated space, a fee will then be charged to the user's account.
If I am determined to end my trip here, then I will tap on the End Trip button. A fee will be charged to my account. Within the reachable areas, we charge $10, and outside of that parameter, we charge $30.
The vendor pointed out that the U-Bike focuses on travel within 2 kilometers, and GoShare charges high costs for a journey of 8 to 10 kilometers. As for the electricity-assisted bicycle, it fills in the blank for those 2 options, as it is perfect for a trip from 0 to 5 kilometers. As transportation marched into the younger generation, short distance travels does not require waiting time or finding a parking lot. The bike allowed an easier travel.
In Taiwan's history, there was the floods of 1959, causing severe damage to mid and southern regions of Taiwan. Therefore, the government encouraged residents to move towards eastern Taiwan. Many flood-affected residents thereby moved to Hualien's Fuli and Yuli townships. The yellowish flower bed can be seen every year around August and September as the orange daylily blooms. Mountain after mountain, as if a painting from Van Gogh, this is Hualien Chike Mountain. Many refer to this place as Little Switzerland. Driving the truck through the mountain roads, second-generation orange daylily farmer Chen Jingzhu is 65 years old. He has been at Chike Mountain for 50 years, as he inherited 50,000 square meters of farmland from his father. He told us that the local orange daylily business is closely connected with Jiayi County.
In my home in Jiayi, there are rows of orange daylilies. It's used as a wall to keep the ground firm, since the plant is deep-rooted into the ground, preventing the soil from collapsing. My father told my uncle that when you go back to Tzu Chi Mountain, you must bring the orange daylilies there. He told him to dig up the orange daylilies in front of our home, uprooting the plants and removing the leaves. It may live as long as the head is present, and my uncle brought the plants here.
At the altitude of 900 meters under the blue sky, farmers are on the Ming-style black roof to dry out the orange daylilies. Near the roof, there are rows of tea leaves, as the leaves are also from Jiayi. The current scale of farming originates from the floods of 1959. The floods of 1959 caused the population moving from west to east. Chen Jingzhu's parents belong to the first generation of immigrants, carrying simple luggage traveling from Jiayi's Alishan Mountain, crossing several mountains in order to reach Hualien's Yuli Township in 7 days, and at last staying the new Tzu Chi Mountain to farm.
We can plant sweet potato, taro, peanuts, corn, potato, ginger, and raise livestock such as chicken and pigs. 2 years later, my father sent a telegram to us while I was in Jiayi, telling us that we may come over since he has set up a house. There's a house to live so we won't suffer from rain, and there's food for us so we won't starve.
When you want to leave this place, you must have enough motivation and a strong cause. For example, after a disaster, some places might not have the farmlands anymore, so people will start to seek farmable landscapes, therefore moving elsewhere to develop.
Holding the bow, this is one of his father's belongings years ago. Following the trend of discovering new land, the father went to Tzu Chi Mountain to develop this farm. Now at the third generation, the miracle is still being continued.
As more tourists visit this place, many young people see a business opportunity as they return here to help out. Our ancestors, like my grandma, her grave was in Pingtung County, my grandfather too. In recent years, we moved their graves to the east side, so our family members come from the west side to sweep the grave. Previously, Tzu Chi Mountain was just a flat plateau on a seaboard mountain range. The mountain was nameless and wasn't registered to the government. Even the orange daylily earned fame for the mountain. Residents on the mountain are still unregistered. Through multiple discussions in 2013, the law was changed regarding land ownership, thus the farmers may finally be recognized.
Until now, the government removed the rights of land ownership and gave the right to the National Property Administration, Ministry of Finance.
When it first started, you could rent country-owned land for farming. And now farmers in Tzu Chi Mountain had developed a local lifestyle, a social network. A religious group is also formed on the basis of a Tudigong statue. With this, a village community is formed.
Time is subtle in the mountains. The once disaster-affected residents had created a miracle in Tzu Chi Mountain, representing a wider and brighter future for them.
Tzu Chi Mountain has a flat landscape. Before, when I was little, I lived in Jiayi City. Now every year I would go back to meet my family and tour around, but I'm not used to living in the mountains there.
Asking Chen Jingzhu where is his hometown, he immediately told us that Tzu Chi Mountain is his home as he's deeply connected with the land. Once an alienated landscape, now a familiar friend. In Taiwan, Zhongsha Recycling Station is located in an old apartment in Banqiao District. Back in 1992, the recycling station was originally located in a military dependence village. Then the recycling station moved several times and once caught on fire. Finally, it ended up on Zhongsha Road.
The two-story apartment in an alley in Banqiao District is very small. Every day, a lot of people cram into the space.
My neighbors say that I'm not enjoying life as I come to sort the dirty items. I said that they'll become clean once I wash them. We're happy doing recycling and our health has improved.
The recyclables are placed on 2 floors. Paper is on the first floor and plastic bags and fruit wrappers are on the second floor. The space is small, but make a good use. This is not the original location of Zhongsha Recycling Station, which started in a military dependence village.
People elsewhere are doing recycling. I asked, can we do it in our village?
We need to communicate with the 6 leaders in the military dependent village. The broad chief alone is not enough.
Sister Luo, you have a lot of empty lots. There are suitable locations for doing recycling. I agreed and invited more than 10 neighbors and relatives to come do recycling. Everyone was doing it happily. However, a fire broke out at our recycling point, so we moved to Chen Su-mei's home.
Since my tenant was moving out, I thought I should stop renting out the place. I can invite people to do recycling here. People did recycling happily. I quit my job and started to carry recyclables with a cart. Some neighbors asked me, why are you doing recycling? Are you facing financial difficulties? I felt embarrassed. I would avoid eye contact when I met them. However, later I thought I was doing this to save the earth. I was doing a good deed, and I was not doing this for personal gain. After a while, I was no longer afraid of people's looks.
Zhongsha Recycling Station has moved several times, but the volunteers stay dedicated.
If I did not come here to do recycling, I would have passed away at home. Back then, when other people thought it was hot, I felt cold. My body felt cold. Then Sister Luo told me to stop volunteering and took me to the hospital. Before she registered me at the hospital, I fainted. My life was safe. If I was home alone, I might have passed away.
Shen Xiurie, who has volunteered at the recycling station for 6 years, is good at sorting recyclables.
PE bags are white. We need to cut out the dirty parts. This is also a PE bag. These two are the same. One of them is colored while the other one is white. The fruit wrappers are also PE material.
This couple is busy on the weekends, as they have to collect fruit wrappers at the evening market. When the two of us come back, we saw that we've collected a lot of recyclables. If we do not collect them for a day, we'd feel that there is something we have not done. Every volunteer competes to do good deeds. They are all quite agile, and they are able to pile up recyclables. The recyclables on the truck are piled neatly like Rubik's Cube. Volunteers have built up their skills.
Paraguay City volunteers deliver epidemic prevention supplies to medical staff. They also gave out food baskets to care recipients. We'll leave you with these images. Thank you for joining us. Goodbye.